Hello and welcome to the section on handle exceptions. So let's look at the section objective and what you will learn in this section. Well, you'll learn how to raise and catch exceptions. We will try to raise our own exception, custom exception, and we'll try to catch those exceptions. We'll able to throw custom exceptions as well, and then we'll catch multiple exceptions, not even one. We can loop the exceptions and then we can catch multiple exceptions. We'll understand how to use finally block with try and catch block. Then we'll try to raise and catch errors. So there's a difference between exception and errors. So we'll try to raise an error and then we'll try to catch the errors. Finally, we'll work with exercises, interview question, resources, and even the assignments using handling the exceptions. Okay, so let's jump into the topic now. Hello and welcome to the example 1. So let's raise and catch an exception. So we'll understand how to raise and catch exception and how to define a structure to catch those exceptions. Okay, so let's do an exercise on that and understand the concept. So if you go to example 1, logical flow, we will raise and catch a divide by 0 error, which is a very common error. If you divide anything by 0, you will get an error. So we'll try to raise that error and then we'll try to catch it. Part of it, we'll try to create this file. Control N, Control S, and I'll create a new folder under www and I'll call it as exceptions. Okay, and I'll save the file inside this folder. So how to write a structure to catch the error? Okay, so for that you have something called as try keyword. The try keyword is basically whatever you write inside this, it will try to monitor for errors. Okay, and if there are any errors in this block, it will try to catch using a catch keyword. Okay, again, catch is basically another block. So if there is an error in the try block, means there is an error in this block, it will jump to this block. Jump to this block if try block has an error. Okay, this jumping of try to catch block is automatically taken care from the PHP. You don't have to worry about go to and put a label and move around the program. Automatically, when there is an issue in this try block, the PHP will automatically jump to the catch block and start executing the code in the catch block. Okay, so that's the syntax for how do you write a try catch block. Using a try catch block, you will try to raise an exception in the try block and you will catch the exception in the catch block. And for the catch keyword, you have to pass in the argument of name of the exception. So name of the exception is exception, and you will create a variable for it. Okay, so this is the very generic syntax of how to write a try catch block, using which you can catch the error and then you will decide to do what to do with an error. Okay, for that you have to raise an error first. So we will write a function to raise an error and then we'll try to define it in the try block and we'll see whether the catch block gets executed or not. So we are able to successfully catch that error or not. If you are not catching the error, then it will error out into the console, right? If you catch it, then it successfully comes out of the program. Okay, we're going to see all those details now, but first we will write that function. So I'll use a divide function and we will return a type integer and we will pass parameter like divide x and y. Okay, and we'll say if $y is less than equal to 0, then you know this will cause an error when you divide x by y. Okay, if it is not, then you are saying result is equal to $x divided by $y. Okay, if $y is 0, anything divided by 0 will raise an error. Okay, that's why we are checking it here. We'll do something about it. So now we are safe to do that divide operation, and we will return the result now. Okay, so how to raise an error, okay, how to throw an error. So for that you have a keyword called throw, and you have to create an object of exception by passing up the message. The message is, you will say divide 0 exception might happen. So what we are doing it here is, we are trying to identify the case where it will might happen the error, and then if it is less than equal to 0, you are trying to throw an exception. And when you throw this exception, where it has been catched, it is catched in the try catch block where it is been called. Okay, so if you say result is equal to divide and we'll pass 1, 0, right, and then in the catch block we are saying echo we have catched the exception here. We'll get the message and we'll say PHP end of line. Okay, so we have done couple of things here. We are checking whether the value is less than equal to 0. If it is less than equal to 0, we are throwing an exception. This is how you throw an exception with throw keyword, and you say new and create an instance of exception by passing your own custom message. And once this is an error, you're passing 0, so this will be an error, then the catch block get executed, and in the catch block you are actually printing up the message, right? So let's run this program and see whether we are able to catch the exception or not. So let's go to our folder that we created, exceptions, and then we'll run our program. Okay, so it says we have caught the exception, that's basically your custom message, and divide by 0 exception might happen, that's basically your custom message. Okay, and imagine we are not doing that, right? We are just printing it outside your try catch block. Then you basically see a fatal error. The method is throwing an exception, but you're not catching it. Because we are not catching it, the PHP is catching that error and throwing and dumping that error. Okay, and if you want to do a clean exit, what do I mean by clean exit? When you don't want PHP to take control of the exception, but you want to take that exception into your hands and try to do a clean exit, then typically you use try catch block. Okay, in the try catch block you try to catch the error and do something about the error that you want to do. Okay, because after the error you can try your normal process. Okay, and it's completely fine, means it's try to execute the next line of code. But if you do this, okay, you're basically having an error here. Okay, and that error is been thrown from your program, so you cannot really continue with your program because there's an error being thrown and it is handled by PHP. Now the PHP doesn't know what to do, so it's dumped everything onto the console and then it stopped the program. Okay, so be careful when you write this kind of code. You need to have a good practice of writing the try catch block, catch the error, and then try to handle that error with a clean exit. Okay, but I hope it's very clear how to write a try catch block, how to raise an error, how to catch an error, okay, and how do you do a clean exit from your program. Okay, so that's all about how to raise and catch exceptions, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to example 2 on how to throw a custom exception. So if you go to example 2 folder, throw a custom exception, the logical flow is to understand how to throw and catch a custom exception, which is your user defined one. Part of it will create throw exception.php. So let's create that file. Okay, so I have this code from the previous example of how to raise and catch exception. Here we have defined our own text to catch the exception, but however we have used the exception class to catch that exception and use the catch block to catch that exception. But what we want to do is we want to define our own method, and then whenever there's an exception happens in our program, we want that method to get executed. Okay, so let's look at that example. So let's say I'm writing a function called custom exception handler, and I'm saying okay, I will capture an exception here. Okay, and if I find that, I will try to do the same thing here. Okay, instead of catch, I want to catch it in a method. Okay, and it's exception. Okay, and I want to set the exception handler. I want to say PHP, when there is an error, use this method. Okay, send an error to this method. So I'm setting that to say exception handler, and here you have to pass in your function name. Okay, that's in the double quotes. Okay, you have to pass in your function name or a method name inside the double quotes. And now you can raise an error. So once you raise an error, PHP automatically know that it should not take the control. It should give it back that control to this method. Okay, so let's throw an exception, throw new exception, and we'll say exception is raised. Okay, so let's run this, and if you see it here, there is no try, catch, and all those things that we have seen it here. Okay, there's no try, catch, and those kind of syntax here. What we are doing is we are changing the exception handler. You have seen in this case wherein when you just run this, PHP take the control. We are taking the control back from PHP and saying set this as your exception handler, and if you see an error anywhere, please send it to this method. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, and you can see we are able to catch the exception, and the exception is raised from this method. Okay, that's the caught exception and the message of that exception. Okay, let's do another example. Let's write a method, and then we will see whether we are able to capture that exception or not. So you can still use this method, and you can set the handler now. Okay, and then we will try to use the same method divide here. Okay, so we have the same method divide here. Now we will call this method. We'll say divide 1, 0. Okay, and now we are not writing this in a try catch block, right? We are not doing that. We are directly calling it, and we already said to handle that exception via this method. Okay, previously we never did that. So when you call this, PHP was taking control and raising an error, but here you are saying okay, I want to set the exception handler as my method. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so the exception is caught. Okay, and then the error is also divide by 0 exception might happen, and then you are able to capture that exception. Okay, so there's another way of capturing a custom exception. You can define your own method and change the handler and get control of that exception, or you can resolve it then and there by using a try catch block. Okay, so here are the two ways. One way is to use try catch, one way is to set the exception handler. Okay, so that's all about how to throw an exception and catch a custom exception via in function, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the example 3 lecture. We'll try to catch multiple exceptions. We have seen how to raise and catch exception using try catch. We have seen how to catch exception using a method. So we'll try to catch multiple exceptions using all the things that we have learned. Okay, so logical flow is to catch multiple exceptions, and part of this we will create this file. So I'll copy over some of the examples here. So we have seen how to raise an exception using try catch, we have seen how to throw an exception using an function. So we'll try to write a method to capture multiple exceptions. So first we'll copy over the custom exception handler. Then we'll copy over our divide function. Then we'll set our handler. Okay, this already we have seen how to capture an exception using a method. So let's try to change this program and try to catch multiple exception. So what I want to do is I want to put this in a try catch block. Okay, remember in this method we are already throwing an exception. So I want to place this inside a try catch block. Okay, I want to put the return in the last. And I want to throw an exception from the catch block. Okay. This is divide method, input parameter is less than 0. So that's the issue that we have. So even will attach the get message. Okay, whatever message we have passed to this program, we are passing it over. Okay, and we will close it as an whole string. The whole string will have a custom string plus the message. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we have put a try catch block, and then we are throwing an exception inside a try catch block, then we are catching it again, we are throwing that message. So it's basically the same exception is thrown twice. The first time when you throw, the catch will catch it, but what happens if you throw inside your catch block? Okay, that is catched by your exception handler. Okay, so let's look at this example and understand. If you have multiple exceptions and you're throwing it multiple times, so you basically looped multiple exceptions together. Okay, so let's run this PHP. Okay, so the first time the caught exception is basically coming up the error message, and that message is divide method has input parameter less than 0, which is this. Then this exception, that is the e.get message, is coming up from here. So what happened is when you call this method, this was executed and passed to catch. The catch is able to get this message from e-message, from e.get message, and then you are trying to add some more custom exception and then throwing it again. So once you throw it again, now it will go to PHP. And for PHP, we have already said we are going to handle any other exception that is not catch with try catch. So now it will go back to your method, and there you are able to capture all the messages that is previously accumulated by the exceptions. Okay, this is basically a looping of exception, very important concept, where you have methods going on, you have your program going on. When you flip between two different files, you need to capture all those exceptions and maybe print in just one method. Okay, this is one of the way how to throw an exception and how to catch multiple exceptions. Well, that's all on this topic on multiple exceptions, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture on finally block. Let's understand how to use a finally block and what is the purpose of it. If you go to example 4 folder in handling exceptions, the logical flow is to raise an exception and execute the finally block. So you'll understand there's one more block called finally block, and we'll try to do an example out of it. This is the file name that we'll create. Okay, so let's create that example. So there's an example that we have seen previously. So we'll reuse this. Okay, we have set a custom handler to a method, and then we throw an exception, and then that exception is caught. Okay, let's modify this program and understand how to write a finally block and what is the purpose of it. So what I'll do, I'll try to wrap this exception inside a try catch block. Okay, and I will write a block called as finally. Okay, there's no catch, means when there's an exception raised in the try block, it won't go to catch, it will go to the exception handler, right? But there is something called as finally block, and finally blocks are basically executed before the exception has been raised. So you can say this line is executed before exception. So that's how you basically define a finally block. It's a finally keyword, and then you open and close the curly braces, and whatever you do inside this will be executed for sure. Means even there's error, there's no error, this block will get executed 100%. Irrespective of error or there is no error, this is the safest block where you can close all your open connections. You can, you want to set some variables to default, all those things you can do in finally block, because these blocks always get executed with or without exception. Okay, let's look at the example. Okay, you see this, there was an error, but the first line is executed before exception. So this will get execute, and then it looks forward for any exception. So if you remove this and you run this, you will always see these lines get executed even there's a fatal error or any error. Okay, that's the power of having a finally block. It's a very important concept again in exceptions, because sometimes you open a connection with a database and maybe that connection is still open. Maybe you open a file to read something and something happened during your program. Okay, now when you want to exit, you want to close that database connection or you want to close that file. All those things typically is done in the finally block, because this is the safest block and this will always get executed even though your program has error. Well, this finally block always get executed, and in this exception it will do it after this line has been executed. Okay, so the couple of points that you need to remember. So remember these points. Finally block is executed before exception is raised, and even if you throw an exception, this is how you throw an exception, right? Even you throw an exception, this line gets executed. Okay, so remember this, the finally is basically a keyword used to write a finally block. When you raise an exception, whatever you write inside the program was executed. So that's what we have seen here. Okay, so I hope it's very clear how to use finally block. Well, that's on the lecture on finally keyword, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture on how to raise and catch errors. Let's look at example 5 in the handling exception. Open up this folder, and logical flow is to catch the error in your program. Okay, till now we have seen exceptions. Now we will try to catch errors. So there's a difference between exception and an error. So let's raise an error and then catch that error. So part of that will create that file. Okay, so we'll take this example that we have seen previously, how to catch an exception, and we'll convert that into an error. Okay, so instead of exception, it is anyway, it's a custom name, we're going to change it to error. For error handler, you have to pass two things. One is error number, one is error string. Okay, and we're just gonna echo the error string. Okay, now instead of saying set exception handler, can you guess what is the handler? Yes, it is error handler. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, you'll replace with your function name and just say echo 5 divided by 0. Okay, so now you are trying to raise exception from echo, right? And echo will give you an error, and that error will be captured by this error handler. So let's run this. Okay, that's division by 0, and it's infinite, right? So that's basically an error because you're raising an error from the PHP defined functions, right? You're not raising an error from your custom functions like we have raised our own errors. Okay, this is basically raising an exception. This is an error that is triggered from echo, and then we are capturing that error and then printing up the string. Okay, so that's all about how to handle errors, and with the simple ways to just create your handler and take control of that error handler. Well, that's all about error handler. It's very simple to understand. You just have to set the error handler to your method, and then you get all the details of the error, and then you can do a clean exit. Imagine if you are not doing this, then PHP will take control and try to show you where is the error. Okay, but if you're taking the control back, then you have the more control on errors as well. This is not an exception, this is an error. Okay, so that's all about how to handle errors using error handlers, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the exercise 1. The exercise 1 is to raise an exception if the value is not integer. Let's open up the logical flow. So logical flow is basically you're checking an error and raise it. What you need to check? You need to create a function and you need to check if the value of that input variable is an integer or not. If it's not integer, then you raise an exception and then you catch that exception. Okay, so part of it, you can create check integer exception file, and then you can do this exercise. You can pause the video here, and then now you can start doing this exercise. Welcome back. Let's do this exercise. So I'm going to copy over from a previous example. Okay, so now instead of divide, we can convert this into the method. You can say print even numbers. This is the start, this is the end. We're not going to have any return type, and we can say if the start is less than equal to 0 or $n less than equal to 0 or start equal to end. Okay, if any of these things happen, then you throw new exception. You will say incorrect input parameters. Okay, because without, if it's less than 0 and end is less than 0, then you typically cannot write a loop, and if the value is end and start is same, then even you cannot print even numbers. So I'm going to write a for loop. So we have the start and end, so we just say start less than equal to end. If start is equal to 0, then basically it's an even number, so we'll say echo okay, and then we just change the method name and we'll say 1 1. So this will execute start is equal to end, then we'll get an exception, and an exception will be printed here. So let's check the integer exception. Okay, so incorrect parameters input. Okay, it's a very simple way and one of the good way to catch an exception and throw an exception and catch it in separate method. So any exception that you can raise in any methods, you want to have one place to catch all those exceptions. This is one of the good ways to do it. Okay, so we have done our exercise. We are able to throw an exception by checking some parameters, and also we are able to catch that exception. Okay, so that's all about checking an integer exception, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the exercise 2 on handling exceptions. So the exercise 2 is to write a program to do a clean exit of an exception block. This is a very important concept and commonly asked in the interview questions or maybe in the practical test. You should know how to write and call the exceptions, but you should also know how to do a clean exit. Means your program should never break. So let's understand how to do a clean exit. So the logical flow is to do a clean exit from the exception block. So part of this will create this file. In really few lines of code you can actually achieve this. Okay, you can throw an exception, pass in some string, say raise an exception. Okay, you can catch an exception, and you can print that message. Okay, you can even write a finally block just to show that you understand finally block as well, and you can say this block can be used as a cleanup section. So this is where you do a cleanups. Okay, and that's a good example how to do a clean exit from your program when you have an exception. Okay, this exception can be raised from anywhere, from your functions. Could be you're checking an if condition and you want to raise an exception. The best way is to wrap it under a try block and then you put a catch block and then you catch it. And if you have something to clean up, you can do it in the finally block. So let's run this code. Okay, so you have raised an exception. That's basically this, raised an exception. And then you are also able to call the finally block, which is a clean exit block. Okay, so that's the exercise, and I hope you understand this concept of how to raise an exception, how to catch an exception, and how to do a cleanup exception. Okay, so that's the exercise, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the practical test. So in this practical test, we will actually use all the concepts that we have seen. We have to show us how to use try, catch, and exception, how to use a try block, catch block, how to raise an exception. Here is the logical flow. You have to print all the elements from an associative array, use key as an integer. Okay, so that's your first step. You need to understand how to work with arrays. I'm combining arrays and exception together. So if you haven't taken array course, go take the array course. So that will teach you how to do arrays. So for this exercise, you should at least know how to work with arrays. So once you print all the elements of an associative array, the associative array has to be created with a key. Once you prepare this array, you need to raise the exception, right? If the indexed array is not in sequence, means that array will have associative array and also some of the indexed arrays. And if those is not in sequence, then you raise an exception. Well, this question appeared in one of the exam written test. So I want you to try this exercise. This requires some knowledge on how to work with associative array, indexed array, and then how to check those arrays and raise an exception. This is a very valid scenario wherein to check whether the array is in sequence or not. Okay, so do this exercise, part of this error handling. Well, if you are not very well aware of the array, then you can do this exercise. You can try to do an example to show try, catch. Okay, you can use an array concept or you can skip the array concept and you can just show an example how to use all the three concepts that we have learned: try, catch, and exception, and you can add the finally block as well. Okay, you can create that example in this file and do this assignment. All the best for your assignment, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the summary section on how to handle exceptions. So by now you should able to learn how to raise and catch exceptions. You should able to throw your new custom exceptions. You should know how to catch multiple exceptions. Then understand how to use finally block and actually when to use it. Then you should able to raise and catch errors. And I hope you have worked through exercises, interview question, resources, and also done the assignments using handling exceptions. Well, that's on the lecture on handle exceptions, and I'll see you in the next one.